Well, it's part of the,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If Mr. Durso wants to amend his motion, or we can keep it as,
Well, I mean, I'm one of 9, so I don't know if we need to amend it. For me, I just expressed why I like to have had someone here a little bit, but I mean, if we can extend them, that's fine with me. At that point, we can make that decision. I don't want to. I'll probably vote no.
well, that's what I'm saying. If you want to amend your, instead of, because we have, we have other items in here. If you
All
want
right,
to,
I amend my motions for 10A through C.
okay.
Remove D, and we can make a motion on D.
Who was our, Mr. Strobel, were you second? Are you okay with that? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz.
All right, there's no other conversation, then looking for, I guess we should do a roll call vote for items 10A through C.
Yes, Mr. Rathke. Mr. Durso?
Yes.
Mr. Strobel?
Yes.
Mr. B. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf, yes. Mr. J. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Albright?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Rathke?
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0.
Okay. Now I'll take a motion for item 10D.
Motion.
Mr. Wolf, do I have a second, please? Second. Second by Mr. J. Scott. Any other more discussion? I think we probably discussed this one pretty good. Roll call vote, Mr. Wolf?
Mr. Strobel?
Yes.
Mr. B. Scott?
No.
Mr. Wolf, yes. Mr. J. Scott?
Yes.
Ms. Olson?
No.
Ms. Albright?
No.
Mr. Miller?
No.
Mr. Durso?
No.
Mr. Rathke?
Yes.
Motion fails. 4-5.
Okay. Moving on to item 11.
Wait, motion failed?
Motion failed, yes. 5-4.
It failed 5-4.
Yes.
After
No,
that.
fail. Yeah, should fail. I heard fail.
Okay. Motion failed.
Yes.
4-5. 5-4.
So now you're starting to question, well, I'm here now. I heard January 31st, now I'm here Wednesday, so. Okay. Item 11. Have a motion, please.
All motion for 11. A and B.
Mrs. Olson, AB. Have a second, please.
Second.
Second by Mr. B. Scott. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Any new business?
Would you like us to comment?
Please.
Can I get this one? Okay. I just had 2 things that we discussed with you all. With the Food Truck Fridays at the high school, Mr. McKnight said he will have more trucks for the next event, so hopefully that will go smoother. Obviously, the first time they were expecting some road bumps, but yeah, we should have more trucks to withstand the amount of students that were there. Also, on top of that, right now we are working with the tech department to create a survey available to all the students at the high school that have iPads, which will give us an idea about how the students feel about the iPads and how much they use it and how they like it, that kind of thing, how can we improve improve. So hopefully we'll have some good feedback there that we can review and
What's the goal of the survey?
we just want to see how the students feel about the iPads, like how they feel the rollout went, if they feel it's useful, if they feel it's making it easier for them to get assignments done or learn in class, that kind of thing.
And then what's the plan to, how you're going to use the data that's collected?
So first we will bring it to Mr. McKnight and the tech department, and from there, we would deliberate about, I guess, how they feel. Like if they have strong opinions anyway, if there's something that can be changed, if there's problems, that kind of thing. And then we'll also bring it to you just to see, just so you can see how these students are using it.
And what motivated the need for the survey?
Just because this was my idea that I brought to Mr. McKnight, just because this was such a large change at the high school, like we haven't had something like this throughout my years at least. We just wanted to see how the students were feeling about it. I haven't heard like a lot of negative things about it. I think it's been pretty good, but we just wanted to get feedback in general on that.
The feedback that the students are going to give is a first-hand account from the students' view of using the iPads in class. It's things that we're not going to think of, or the tech people who are not using it in the class from their perspective are going to think of. So that'll give us pointers on things that they're seeing from their side of it, on ways we can improve the use of it in the classrooms.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I'm just curious about how it's being done.
Yeah, we're going to run it through Mr. Mass and the tech department, so we'll be able to see the data and it's useful.
So in the survey, you're going to collect some suggestions on ways to improve the usage of them?
Yeah, or just ways that they might
That'd be
see possible improvements and how they're using it. It's just their point of view of using the iPad to learn with.
Yeah. Sounds great.
And there's one thing I wanted to talk about. So I'm part of the AP Capstone project, which was a 2-year part. We took the AP seminar, which you guys saw some presentations, and this was the first year of AP research. And Mrs. Godfrey, who is our teacher, went to Kutztown University, and luckily 13 of us are going to be lucky enough to have our AP research report published by Kutztown University, which is pretty cool. So we're working with Kutztown to get our research reports published by the university, which is pretty cool.
That's great. Getting published is always a good thing. Congratulations.
I also wanted to take some time to ask the board if there's any issues or anything that you would like to hear from the student body, if there's any opinions that you're curious about that we could attempt to gather through surveys or through anything like that. Since that's why we're here, we want to try and bridge the gap as much as we can. So
Yeah, that'd be great.
I have a question. So just this new survey that you're going to do makes me immediately think, are there other topics that we should consider taking a survey on? And I guess the second question that immediately came to mind was, have we done surveys in the past for various topics like this? And how have we, has anything come from that? One thing people like to do surveys, and oftentimes the surveys happen and then nothing really comes from it.
yeah.
So, to me, I think the survey that you're doing on the laptops is obviously a sensitive topic and of utmost importance to the board. So I'm super anxious to see the results myself, but I'm just wondering if there's other things that you guys had planned on putting in front of the administration.
As of right now, we're kind of just focused on the iPad issue, but I mean, we'd be open to anything that concerns the board if we can. I'm sure it's pretty simple to put out a survey just through Schoology. It would notify the students and anyone that wished to fill out a survey, we could just do it real quick. So if there's any pressing issues, we'd be open to.
I also think it's important when you do survey process in itself. Sometimes it's easy for us to get complaints from people. Depending on how we present that survey, you can prod positive feedback to help facing your problem it out. I think there's some real benefit to that. Try and find out what it is they do like, so you can find a way to do more of something that's good.
Yeah, we'll try and leave it as open-ended as we can, so they can speak how they truly feel, and we can learn as much as we can.
I would recommend follow-up surveys whether it be quarterly, so you have some type of baseline to see if anything's changed.
Yeah.
Right?
Like just as like a, how do you feel about
Yeah, I mean, maybe you think of it as a 2-year plan versus a one-time snapshot of how the student body's feeling. And I would encourage you to have some type of data point that you can go back and have a goal of improving it, right? Or, hey, everything's already showing as great, well then, let's make sure it stays that way.
Yeah, yeah. And if it's all good, then I'd like to move on to something else that, like, if there's other issues, like, I mean, I think the iPads have been great, and I think the survey would reflect that, but we can't necessarily take it. Yeah. I'd like to do that too, with the, continue data.
Great, thank you. I'm sure we're going to put our heads together and see if we can come up with, take advantage of your offer. So, appreciate it. Any other new business? Any presentations by the public?
Harry Templin, 20.
It's on.
East Main Street. Food truck Friday, that's something new. You know what my question's going to be for that, don't you? Everyone on that food truck have a security clearance, and is it documented in the high school office or in the administration office that's coming on our school grounds?
The question from Mr. Sports, maybe can, all right? Put Mr. Sports on the spot.
I would have to get back to you on that.
Well, if they're not secured, if they don't have a security clearance, they should not be on our school property.
Well, that's not true because.
Yes, it is true. Everyone around our students should have a security clearance.
Mr. Temple, I think what he's trying to say is when there's an event at the school, there's a lot of people within that school that do not have a security clearance.
Well, now wait a minute. When the event's a little different, isn't it?
Well,
Event, their parents are there, everyone's there.
I'm not trying to argue with you, I'm just saying this is an event that takes place outside the school where they're not really in direct contact with the children. I'm sure this will
Are
get
the
looked
students not
into.
going up to these vending and giving them money? They're giving them
I understand what you're saying, Mr. Temple, and I believe they're going to look into that, but
And administration
Not everyone that comes to the school
the school
is
administration is
required.
present there with the students.
Is it throughout the school day?
It's just the mornings before school starts.
Still alone. You better look into it. You don't know what is coming in on those school trucks. I'm sorry, I'm not putting anybody down.
we are definitely going to look into your concern, but you also have to understand, Mr. Temple, in that when there's things going on at the school events, there are plenty of people in that school building that will not have security clearances. Yes, sports would be
I
another.
just say that this is I think it's a little bit different than a lot of the whole public being in school. A football game or event. I think if I really want to look into this, I mean, these little trucks are known to do things and known to carry things.
I understand your concern.
On in the school property, may I say. And let me make a suggestion. I heard something pretty unique down in Virginia, other than the fact that they're paying the state lottery, the tax are being paid by state lottery, the school tax, and keeps from paying that. They had a lot of time off, of course, with the storms. And in order to keep their school, I don't know whether you can do this in Pennsylvania, I don't know if it's allowed or available, to keep their school calendar down to the same quitting day, the same graduation day or whatever. Instead of adding days on the end of the year, they're adding time on a week or so throughout the time. Like this week, we'll go a half an hour more to make up for a day or so.
I don't know how that would cover under the union contracts. Obviously, that would be an issue.
Oh, yeah, that's true too. I'm sure they have somewhere around. They have union down there. I just thought I'd make a suggestion there.
Yeah.
See what flies there. Okay? All right.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Temple.
Thank
You
you.
betcha.
I have a question. Is there any way we can recess quickly and have a 5-minute discussion as a board back there regarding 10D? This might be something we can come out and re-vote on it.
Okay,
I-
take a 5-minute recess.